Okay, everybody. I'm gonna do the second part of it. It's recycling reality. I figured it was about time to do the reality part of the name. So let's call this the first reality talk. A little different than scrapping. So I'm gonna talk about something that's kind of important been going on, and something that's a phenomenon that's occurring in real time right now as I speak, as you're listening to me. It's time to talk about this because you need to. You guys are like scrappers, recyclers, you guys, people that don't like follow the narrative, like kind of outside the box people. You know, like being told what to do. You like to be your own boss and make your own decisions about things, and you're free thinking, resourceful. You know, kind of not fitting in with the crowd kind of people, and that's so things. Maybe you guys can handle this open mindedness a little bit. Um, you probably didn't buy into all the garbage that was going on in the last 2 years. The probably like me, you probably just kept your mouth shut and your head down, and kind of went on, hoping to be over soon and get back to the freaking like normal people. Just rolling a cigarette. Um, you know, People getting back to normal again. That'd be nice, right? For me, fortunately, I lived out in a rural area, so I didn't have to really do that. And masks and distancing and freaking quarantining and all that other garbage that went on. I saw the crap right from the start, and it's just like, you know, fuck that. So, but I didn't have to. I'm not in the city. I didn't have to deal with that. And I, fortunately, because being a scrapper and recycler, I'm not have a job that people are going to be telling me what to do. So that's probably you guys the same way. You're got this. You're not going to go and get jabbed up for just for shits and giggles. Anyhow, so my first rule of thumb when it comes to the people, the government, the news media, the whatever you want to call it, authority. That my first rule with them is they're lies. They're telling me lies. That they're lie. That's what they do. All they do is lie. Everything they tell me is a lie. I mean, you can sit and just watch any network news show for not a lot of time, and you realize it's BS. What they told you about what went on was BS. What it was BS. What they're still continuing to do about it is BS. Okay, that's you probably know that. So that's like my first rule is number one. They're always lying. So and anymore they don't even care if you believe them or not. They just say such outright blatant things that are your own. They tell you stuff that your own eyes can't see. That you and the people just go along with that. It's amazing to me. I don't understand that. They put out agenda and they repeat it again and again and again. And like this is the thing to our democracy. It's the biggest thing to our democracy. It's the biggest thing to our democracy. Fucking crap. On and on and on. And if you push back with against their stuff and you say anything, you're canceled, censored, banned. They just it's obviously the freedom of speech, First Amendment, is under big assault in this country right now. So it's something that you should be concerned about for one. Um, that's not even what I'm talking about though. That's just minor compared to the other things. You know, um, the reason I went over all that history is that we've all been through and all that. That's all bullshit. Is because I want you to remember that everything they say is bullshit. They lie about everything. So if there's something out there that there's something going on, they're never hear the truth from the mainstream media about it, and that's just that. You have to, everything is shut down. That doesn't what they don't want the narrative to be is what they don't want it to be. So what I want to talk about is this phenomenon called the Mandela effect. You've probably heard of it, or at least heard the term before. It's something you've probably heard. Something to do with people remembering things, misremembering things, or remembering things related they weren't, or something of that nature. Is what you'll hear from mainstream media, of course. That's that people just misremember things, on and on and on. See, but see, that's the thing, is that they lie about everything, and there's uh, something seriously going on. The Mandela effect is a real thing. It's not people misremembering things. It's not. It's not mass hypnosis. It's not anything that's just run of the mill. It can be explained by some the ways that they have all these people try to explain it. They've done studies about it to find just a study to find out that, oh, it was just people misremembering things. So that are, that's what they want you to think. The thing is that people don't misremember things for the most part, especially in big things. A little history, probably, if you haven't heard of the Mandela effect. Um, Nelson Mandela, he was the leader of South Africa, right? Well, in the 80s, he died. And that was that. Then in 2012, he died. So there were a bunch of people that said, well, didn't he die in the 80s? And I remember him dying in the 80s. And there were so many people that said this, like thousands of people said this, just for no apparent reason. They just thought he died in the 80s, I guess. I mean, even though he just died in 2012. So, but there were so many people that had this crazy idea. They all had the same crazy fucking misremembering thing going on, all at the same time. They coined the term Mandela effect. That's what how that came about. Now, since then, since 2012, there's been lots of Mandela effects that some people see certain ones, some people don't see other ones. It's odd. But people, for the most part, you can tell them ask them certain questions about certain things, and I'll probably ask you certain questions about certain things, and your answer would be not the right answer, because Mandela effect. And as I said, it's not that you misremembered it, or I misremembered it. It's that it's changed. And I know it's hard to believe, and it sounds crazy and out there, and that's much easier to just say, oh, people are misremembering things, to and just write it off and go on your day. Because we do that all the time. You'll see something or think something or whatever, and you go, oh, I must have just forgot that, or yeah, that's probably just not, I thought wrong or whatever. And we could easily convince ourselves of that kind of a thing. And that's easy to do. If you go research the Mandela effect, and you're going to find all the mainstream type stuff. There's been studies by this psychologist group. Some university did a study of this and that, and of course their conclusions were all the same: that people are just misremembering things. Well, for the people that misremember these things, when it happens and they misremember something that they know happened, then I mean, is our memory just making stuff up? Because how is it that thousands of people had this Mandela effect about Nelson Mandela? Because we just all misremembered it, and that's one of my anchor effects, of that. I won't go into that right now, but there's a lot of little things in the Mandela effect. There's little Mandela effects that seem inconsequential, like, for instance, the Monopoly Man is many people remember him having a monocle in his top hat and everything. Well, he doesn't have a monocle and never did. And but there's a lot of references to it, and you may remember it that way, that he has a monocle. And they'll explain it some fucking hunky bunky. It's a misremembering thing. It's not. That was not this misremembering thing. There's things that are too many things, and everybody's got and the people that have been affected by this, they have what they call anchor effects. And there's something that's like something like, if maybe you didn't play Monopoly, for instance, and you're not really sure, and you don't remember the character because you never played the game, so that's not like that you couldn't end, but you think, well, maybe he had the monocle, maybe he didn't. That's like, okay, so there's Mandela effects like that for everybody. It just seemed like you could be that way, or nah, you weren't really familiar with it. But then there's things that you're super familiar with, um, personal things even that, and that when they're not the same anymore, they're called anchor effect for us people that have been affected. And anchor effect is something you're 100% sure. There's no doubt in your mind whatsoever. Because I mean, if you misremember, if your mind is telling you you misremember it, then you're out. You're gone. I mean, you're out there because people have clearly memories of these things that are 100% sure that this happened, and now this is not the way it was. And what else can you say about something that like that? That it's supernatural, and that's what part of why the media is gonna you know not not tell you the truth about this, because this mainstream, the narrative, and all that stuff, they're not about supernatural stuff. They're about everything, this way and that, and their way, their agenda, their narrative, their whole deal. They don't want you to believe in God. They don't want you to believe in no higher powers. They don't want you to believe in other things other than them. They are God, and that's what they think. And so, the Mandela effect is going to be debunked in every way that they can. They're not going to ever say that, oh, this is really true. And if they do even incline that it could be happening, they'll attribute it to some kind of something like CERN or some other kind of scientific thing, because they'll take credit for it. If anything else, I mean, oh yeah, we did that, because that's what they do. That's what these people do. The authority, they they would like to control things like that. So if you look into there are other channels on YouTube you can find about Mandela effect. You gotta be careful what you're looking for, because there are a lot of people that try to just do the same thing over and over again, and they just ride the wave of it. There's some people that are serious, and they are they're reputable, and they know what they're talking about inside and out, and those are people you want to listen to if you're going to listen to anybody. I'm just giving my overview of this because it's got to get out there that there's if you're going to hear it from the media, it's going to be more and more coming that this negative, the misremembering or misidentifying or whatever they want to say about it, and you'll hear that over and over again. Of course, it's the mainstream. That's their narrative. But what it really is something so significant that they're not going to tell you that. I mean, they lie. That's what they do. If there's other, just maybe one of them. There's other like you can all. Let me think of one. The other one. Sorry, and the Bernstein Bears. That's another one that's it's common for people to have. I'm just trying to think of some lower ones. Some people think it's Bernstein, and now it says Bernstein, or vice versa. I'm not sure. C-3PO's leg in Star Wars. We all saw Star Wars, right? Well, I remember the C-3PO being gold, all the way around. I saw it in the movie theaters on the big screen, larger than life, and it was a gold robot. Well, now apparently he has a silver leg. One of his legs is silver, and go back in the history and look back into it, and you'll find it's always been silver. So very odd. But I definitely remember it being gold, and that's like I said, I was in the movie theater, and it's larger than life. I think I noticed one of his legs is a different color, and there's also things called residuals. After these changes have occurred, it'll like change the main thing, but like any side things to it don't change. It's like just because there can be residuals. Like it's hard to explain, but it changes like in the main story, in the main history of everything. It'll be changed, and it'll support the changes by a number of things. But there'll be like somebody drew a picture of C-3PO, for instance, or maybe made a little model of him, or whatever. He's going to have a gold leg. He's going to be all gold, because it didn't change those kind of little side things. Like the main thing is that he changed, and so if you go back and watch Star Wars right now, you have an old videotape or whatever of it. If you were a fan, go and look and see, and his leg will be silver. So I don't know. I just, it's bizarre to me because I know it was gold and I just know it. Another one of the biggest examples for me, especially, this is almost a total anger effect, was I don't know if you ever watched James Bond movies, but there was a James Bond Moonraker, and I saw that in the movie theaters too. We used to go to all the movies all the time in the '80s, of course, and they in that movie the main protagonist is Jaws. You know, he's the villain, the villain's henchman, and he's, you know, Jaws is, if you've seen James Bond, you know who he is. He's a big 7 foot tall guy with big steel metal teeth, you know, all the way in his mouth, all steel, and Jaws. So in that movie Moonraker, there's this little blonde Swedish girl that he meets up with, and you know, it's just a storyline thing, but she has braces on her teeth, and she smiles at him, and he smiles back, and they just braces, and you know the whole. You know, they like both have metal mouths, and so they are, you know, and she's like a little tiny thing, and he's a 7 foot tall monster. So it was the, you know, the Beauty and the Beast love story basically, and so they, of course, they end up together, and it makes the bad guy, makes Jaws turn into a good guy because he wants to protect the little Swedish girl, and you know, and the whole premise of their getting together is that she has a metal mouth just like he does. So that, you know, that's what starts the whole, you know, affair, because she smiles at him. He sees that. Well, if you go watch Moonraker now, she doesn't have braces. So the whole story's there. They're exactly the same thing. Everything happens except for there's no braces, which makes the whole point of them getting together just completely. How does it? There's no reason for it. Just her smiling at him. I mean, that's. I saw the movie in the movie theaters. The bitch had braces. Period. Now she doesn't. I can't explain it. I don't know. It's the Mandela effect. It's real, and people really experience it. You know, and that one right there is, to me, that one just blows my mind. When I heard and saw that, and then I looked into it, and sure enough, they're not there. And it's like, I mean, I could have told you the scene of the movie. You told me, hey, you remember the girl in the movie Moonraker? And then I could have told you the scene of before the change. I mean, it was always, because that's what it was. That's what it was. That we did not a question of me misremembering it. I trust my memory. I'm not gonna let the freaking some psychologist, fucking these people out there tell me that I'm misremembering stuff. I'm not gonna. That's not gonna happen. I trust my memory. I know things that happened. I'm not going into the whole thing, but the name of the Mandela effect is I have that memory of him being dead in the '80s. That's another story, but it's how, like Winnie Mandela. She was president of that place. It's the last I heard, because you know, after her husband died in prison, the apartheid. No, it's a long story. I know the whole thing because I was fucking a history major. So you know, I know it. I know. Why would I know her name? South African president's wife's name. You know, I know it because she fucking became president. Simple as that. Now he never did, and he died, and he became president. And she does. Well, okay, well, that's how I remember it. So, to me, that just, there's so much things that prove that it's real. And another one, you know, this one, everybody can get this one for the most part if you had any kind of religious knowledge at all. Okay, it's a Bible verse, which is one of many, but this one is, most people do know this Bible verse. It's Isaiah 11:6. And it's I remember it saying, "The lion will dwell with the lamb," and there's lots of residual on this one. There's been pictures drawn, statues made, photographs of the lions and lambs together, and then there's a little caption of it, Isaiah 11:6. I mean, if you had any religious background at all, you would know that, you know, it says, "And the lion will lay with the lamb, dwell with the lamb, lay with the lamb," whichever one. Well, you might want to go look that up in Isaiah 11:6. and go and see what it says, because it doesn't say the lion will lay with the lamb, even though that's what I remember. That's what lots of other people remember. And there's, like I said, there's literally statues of it made of a lion and lamb together, and there's drawings, countless ones. I mean, I have one here, lion and lamb, right there. There's the elephant and the boy too, but lion and lamb together. Now, on this page it says what it's changed to. Go look it up. It's bizarre. It's changed to this other thing, and the picture of the other thing ain't even in the book on that picture. The lion and lamb are standing there together. I wonder why. You watch the movie Fiddler on the Roof. They sing in the song about the lion and lamb in song in the movie Fiddler on the Roof. It's everywhere. If you have any religious background whatsoever, you've heard that saying, the lion and the lamb lay together. And you know what I mean. Go look and see what it says now. I'm not going to say. Go look and see in your Bible, because I didn't change your Bible. Go look if you have a King James Version Bible. Doesn't matter what year it is. Go look. Isaiah 11:6. You might be surprised what you see. It's very odd. And that to me is proof more. God says in Theologians that there'll be lines, signs, and wonders when things start to change. I don't want to be all crazy religious, like I sound crazy enough at this point anyway. That to me, when there's something that's in my possession, and I have a lot of Bibles. And I have the one that was given to me as a kid with my name stamped on the front of it, and it did not say what it says something different than what I thought it said now. And I didn't misremember that, and thousands and thousands of Christians that didn't misremember it, and thousands of people that fucking made drawings of it and and quoted it and whatever else, they didn't misremember it. They didn't misremember it. It doesn't make any sense. The fact is, things have supernaturally changed. And that can only mean one thing. That means God's real. You don't have to have faith that God is real. That God is real. Because how else could things change? And for people just not to see it. That when reality has changed and people don't see that, it's bizarre beyond belief to me. And there's many other people like me out there that know this, and we're just looking around the world going, what is wrong with these people? They cannot see the obvious things that are not the same. And I'm not saying there's blatant, outright huge things, but they really are. Especially, like, for instance, I could ask you, do you remember the Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes back in the commercials? Do you remember who did that? Went around with the big checks and all that? If you're saying Ed McMahon, then you're wrong, because he never did that. I don't care how many commercials you remember seeing of him going to the door with big checks and saying, "I'm Ed McMahon from Publishers Clearinghouse." Or no matter how many times you remember that, seeing on the commercials, it never happened. You're misremembering it. Look it up. Check it out. He never was spokesman for. It was American Family Publishers or some other bullshit that they're saying now. And I mean, I know what I remember. And if you know what you remember, then trust me, this is not some crazy off the wall theory of. If you look around you, and everybody's got a Mandela effect, something. That's why there's so many various things that are things that there's things that are so minor, like the people like Jiffy peanut butter. People remember it was Jiffy and Jif, and people remember it being a different way. Choosy mom, choose Jiffy. But it was Jiffy, now it's Jif. But then there's many minor products. There's lots of products. There's a Dash in a Kit Kat bar that's no longer there. That's not one for me, but other people say that it is. But But because I know that it's real, I'm not going to discount what other people say. If you say that that's a Mandela effect for you, then, you know, it's not because you've never seen it before or something like that. When you see it, when something goes around you and look and you say, wow, I remember it being that way, but then everything tells you, nope, it was never that way. When that happens to you, then you'll know that it's true. It's simple as that. It's like, it's like you're getting Jesus in your heart and the Lord coming, same kind of a thing. It's really, and then it's when you realize that's how you know that they lied to you about everything all this time. Everything is a lie. So I just want to get it out there on this, and I know that you guys are free thinker kind of people out there, and so this recycling is all fun and games, but there's more to it than that in this world. So it's because of that, my whole outlook of the recycling, that I have able to get the time to think and not be a programmed sheeple like the people that are out there right now. The people that have done all the things in the last 2 years that they wanted you to do. All the people that are having health issues now because of what they wanted you to do. And some people that are having problems with their organs at young ages, clots and knots, stuff like that. Yeah, that's all good stuff. Yeah, I'm glad I said, I'm proud to say, no, none of that for me. I have pure blood. And I've seen some people that have problems, and they're still pushing it. I don't know. People, sorry to bust your bubble, but it's a lie. The whole thing was a fucking lie. They lie about everything. Will they do it again? Probably. This is a test run. There's a lot. These people are they're evil. Anyway, like I said, look at some other channels. Moneybags 73. He talks about Mandela effects, and he's pretty on money, on the money about it. There's Brian Stavely. He's really pretty intense about it, and if you don't know about it, he's got all kinds of videos about it. You can learn up in about 5 minutes. He's got hundreds of videos about each different kind of a Mandela effect. So if you see something that you remember being a certain different way, and it's been bugging you, instead of just writing it off in your own mind that you're forgetting things or your memory is gone or whatever it is, look into it, and maybe it's a Mandela effect, and then you'll go, wow, okay, so that makes something entirely different, then, doesn't it? It does. Anyway, we'll get back to scrapping some more stuff tomorrow. That's my reality, part of my recycling reality. Got to have some reality in there, right? Even if it's crazy. But we'll get back to scrapping. I'm going to do a washer tomorrow, I think, and some bigger appliances. Like, haven't done any of those, just all the small stuff, something different. And done all the Halloween is all good for right now, and can only build so many props and bullshit. Anyway, there's go right to freaking the end here. I should make it 33 minutes just for a laugh. All right, that's gonna be it now. I'll get back to you guys in a day or two with a scrap video, and you take it and go check it out. Go look at Isaiah 11:6. Go look at that one. All right. Good night. Goodbye.